Hello, Rebel fans. This is Superfed TV, and welcome back to another episode of Foul Language. It's been a little bit of a break, but we are picking up where we left off with is it Troukk or Troukk? How do you prefer to say your name?
Uh, I don't know. To be honest, it's not meant to be spoken in English, so it doesn't matter really.
Okay, I'm gonna go with Troukk, but how would you say
Okay,
it? How
that's
would you
fine.
say it in another language?
Um, well, the true origin of the name is a Chilean legend, and it's called Troco. So it doesn't sound at all like how you say it. So it doesn't matter. But it's cool. Truck works.
All right, we're gonna be Troukk from now on. Well, Chuck, I don't know how familiar you are with the format and how the show works, but why don't you start by giving us a little bit of a background about who you are and how you started playing Blood Bowl.
Sure. Um, okay, okay, I'm Troukk. I'm from Chile. So English is my second language. So I apologize for my accent
Oh no,
and my pronunciation. Have patience.
no need to apologize. We had Hindis on earlier, so you're
um,
fine.
I'm a dentist. That's actually the theme of my team. It's all the doctors there are kind of famous dentists around the world,
Oh, that's funny.
and and well, I learned about Blood Bowl from a few friends, from Chad and other friends that play Blood Bowl too, and I met them in another game. It's kind of like you go jumping from games to
Mm-hmm.
games. Like in here in Rebel, I learned about other games too. That's how I found it. It's a very that friendly game
Mm-hmm.
because it has a 16 turns and it ends. And my wife likes that because other games like role playing games, you now I don't have the time to just sit endless hours playing. So
Yeah,
this is better.
makes sense. Perfect. And what's your experience with Blood Bowl like? Like, when did you? You mentioned that you started playing it just by a friend, but how much Blood Bowl would you say that you've played?
Oh, not a lot. I mean, I played a small private league before coming to this bigger private league, and that's about it.
Oh wow.
Uh, so yeah,
Did you start in the rookie league, or did you just go straight into the main league?
no, straight into the main league. I mean, I already knew the basics. Uh, I already made all the big mistakes one can make. I'm not a great player like some of you guys, but at least I know how to play it. So it didn't make much sense to play in the rookie league.
That makes sense. Very cool. Did you ever have you ever tried playing Blood Bowl on tabletop?
No,
Yeah.
no. There's no tabletop leagues here in Chile. I think there's some in Brazil,
Okay.
but that's far away.
Yeah. Okay. And so what was your first team that you really started playing with, and is there any team that's probably your favorite?
Oh, I love Nurgle now. I mean, this team is by far my favorite team, the team that I'm playing now. But I started playing with Undead, which is a very user-friendly team.
Mm-hmm.
You have a little bit of everything. It's good out of the box. So yeah, but I think what I like about teams is finding teams that I can tweak a little bit to my play style that don't have a predefined play styles.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I'll ever be able to play like dwarfs, for
Oh
example.
sure.
When I had my undead team, for example, I gave my ghouls diving catch. I gave my one of my ghouls passing skills, and I played the passing game, which was very fun. You cannot do that with dwarfs. I mean, you're stuck with them.
Right.
In the case of Nurgle, I love it because it's like make your own positional game, and I really made my own positionals the way I like to play them. So that's how I like it. A
Yeah.
little bit of creativity.
I think that's a bit of an understatement that you made your own positionals the way you like. That actually ties right into one of our first fan questions. Full Metal, uh, we'll call him the Grand Overlord of the league. He would like to know what is it about himself that is so inspirational to you that you decided to emulate his team? And I'm assuming that he's referring to the Agi 5, Sure Hands, Pestigore, Dr. Black.
Yeah. Well, you don't say no to IG5, right? I mean, you just don't. But other than that, I don't think I'm just like Metal. I mean, I love how he plays, but he's more murdery,
Mm-hmm.
and I lean more towards control. So I think our teams will be different in the end.
I agree. I think your
Uh,
Nurgle Warriors, for example, he went very Mighty Blow Claw heavy, and you've got some guard already. Your Warriors are probably a little underdeveloped compared to the rest of your team, but that comes with time.
yeah. Yeah. They're, especially because I didn't choose to give them Mighty Blow 1st,
Mm-hmm.
so they are slowly developing. But I don't want to waste my levels on kill skills. I want to use them, even if it comes later. I want to use them in controlling skills. I want to use them in guard. I want to use them in stand firm, and even tails if I can do it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the plan.
Yeah, that makes sense. I like it. So let's get back to our regular list of questions here. So, what is your favorite player? And I there's a couple answers on your team, but also is there a positional that you like on another team that may be your favorite?
Okay, on my team, it's a tie between Dr. Black and Dr. Okeson
Mm-hmm.
because they are awesome.
It's a good combination.
I mean,
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but Dr. Okeson is getting more fun with every day. I mean, now like 2 or 3 games ago, he got leap.
Mm-hmm.
His first leap, he just jumped into a cage, strike busted a developed ball carrier. It was awesome. I mean, that guy is great. Jumping into a cage with 4 strength is virtually cheating at this point. um, and I don't know if I can't think of a particular player, but something I like in general a lot is two-headed goblins or IT4 stunties in general. I find it so much fun. Not that I think about it, I loved two-headed big hand goblin on, I think it was Just Poison. That was the team, I think.
Mm.
They had a little guy that did everything. It was awesome. I love those goblins.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about, that team. That was when your undead were still a thing, right? Before your Nurgle. Okay. And I agree with you. I think the Pestigore, usually we see it on like Chaos teams where they'll get an Agi up on a Beastman and turn him into a Leaper. But yeah, your Pestigore with Agi 4 and Leap and Tackle is pretty awesome. I assume you're going to get Wrestle next, or are you going to go straight to Very Long Legs?
I don't know. I mean, for on the one hand, if I give it very long legs, I turn the 1 in 6 into I turn the 1 in 9 into a 1 in 36,
Mm-hmm.
which is great.
Mm-hmm.
Wait. No. I turned the 1 in 3 into a no. Wait, that's it. The 1 in 9 to 1 in 36.
Yeah.
And that is very good because that's the that's the role that I can fail most.
Mm-hmm.
The other role, I'll almost always will get 2 dice. So, and if I can't get 2 dice, I probably won't leap. So it's not that important. The other thing I have to take into consideration is that Wrestle is good defensively too. When he gets, if he has Wrestle, maybe he will survive more. So I'm not sure what I will take. Not sure yet.
Yeah, I'm watching the replay right now against your Chaos, and we just saw him almost perfectly timed take a 1-die block against a Minotaur and get the both down. So Wrestle would have been good there, but yeah.
Yeah.
It can make a difference. My vote would be for Wrestle next, but leaping on a 3+ is Kislev life, so I'm used to it.
You're used to it right now, right?
Exactly. I don't like it, but I'm used to it. And if you could take one player from any other team and put them on your team, which would you take? So you've got your Nurgle with a lot of agility already, but is there another player out there that you would like to see on your team?
A Nurgle player, I think you're talking about,
Well,
right?
just any player you want. If you could steal anybody.
Because I'm a big fan of that stupid beast that I think Lazarus has in Rail 1.
Mm.
That beast is insane, man.
Strength 6 and block.
And yeah, I mean, I hate my beast. It's so easy to push away because it doesn't have stand firm 1st.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have block, so it's unreliable.
Mm-hmm.
I actually regret giving it guard first. For those of you listening, I think first skill for a beast should be stand firm because they will red dice you away and make you worthless. I mean, I thought guard was more important, but it really is not.
Yeah.
Especially in a team like Nurgle, when you already have a lot of high strength players that will get 2 dice by themselves. I think it was a mistake to give guard first.
I like that advice. I think that's very valid, especially when you're playing in a place like Rebel where I think people are a little bit more experienced. When you're playing against more inexperienced coaches, they're afraid of throwing any red dice ever. So guard gets probably more value. But yeah, I think that's a good tip. Is there a rule about Blood Bowl that you would like to see changed or anything that you're unhappy with?
Let me think. Oh yeah. That's one thing I really hate about this game, and that is kicks. I hate them. So I would do a very simple rule change, which would be when you win the toss in overtime, you can choose to kick or you can choose not to kick. But if you choose to not to kick and receive the ball, you have to score. If you don't, you lost.
I like that.
It's just so unfair that if you are in defense, you have to recover the ball and score, or you can lose anyway. It's so unfair.
Yeah, I agree. I like that rule change. All right, let's get to some of the. Well, we'll mix in. There's a couple more left, but we'll go back to a couple of the fan questions here. Metal also would like to know that you've been collecting play of the weeks for an entire season. Which has been your favorite so far? Did any awesome plays narrowly miss the cut because of more epic plays in the same week? And have you considered doing any diabolical fails of the week?
Okay, to the last two questions, yes and yes, absolutely. These plays of the week are like fall appearance. Like they don't trigger at all, and then at the same turn, 4 or 5 of them trigger at the same time. Well, that happens with plays of the week. You have a slow week where you have to search for the damn play, and then there are other weeks when 3 or 4 people send them their plays. I already saw 2 more that were great. So, well, that's the way it is. Favorite play? I don't know if I have a favorite play, but I do have a favorite coach. I mean, when I'm looking for plays of the week, there's this Pro F player, Soul of Dragons Fire, I think is his name. He never disappoints. He always has great plays.
Oh, that's good.
Other than, I mean, he has a different way of seeing plays than most coaches. I'd say the same about Ornan.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, doing this little thing for Rebel News has made me know more coaches than I would normally do because I have to be looking about in my free time. And I think those are the 2 coaches. And when I say Ornan, I don't mean just because world champion or whatever. No, I was looking at him way before that. I remember a Norse game where he had like 2 players left and he still managed to score. There are players that see plays differently and that makes them fun.
Yeah, I agree 100% about Ornan. He thinks outside the box, and it's never times where there's a better play on the table. It's where other people would probably have given up or just assume that, made something safe at that point in time. and he just likes what's fun more than what's safe, and it's
Yeah,
always more interesting that way. So I agree
yeah.
completely with you on that one. Why don't you tell us a little bit about how you got into doing the new stuff, and you talked a little bit about what that's like, but also what first kind of made you decide to help out in that fashion.
Uh, oh well, I remember at the beginning of the season, our recappers
Mm-hmm.
asked us if there was something we would like from them, and I said I'd like to see plays of the week because I find it like a fun little thing.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't do it, so I said, "Screw this! I'll do it myself."
That's awesome.
And then I realized in searching for them in one division was not enough. So I said, "Screw it! I'll do it for the entire thing." It's easier to find a good play in the entire universe, and also I don't have a lot of time. I'm a very busy guy, so I wanted to do something that I can guarantee to be able to do no matter what. I can't be a recapper. That's impossible. I don't know when I have free time, so it would be just awful. But this little thing that is easy to do, that takes maybe an hour from my day, on a given day that I choose to do it. And also I know I won't fail. I know I won't be flaking on everyone mid game. That's not what I like to do. A little thing, and that's why also I write. I don't write a lot. I want it to be like small, sweet and quick, and make sure I can do it every week. That's the whole idea behind it.
Nice. I like it. King of Chan would like to know, you seem like you have a lot of fun playing Blood Bowl. You have any advice for someone who gets extremely frustrated when playing?
Uh, yes. Just I mean, I have a lot of fun because I don't really care about I mean, it's just a game, and it's always a lot of fun to begin and start again. So if you play like scared and your players die, well, what's the worst that can happen? It's not like they're going to kick you out of Rebel or whatever. You just can make a new team and start over.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. It's not terrible, and usually, and the moment you decide to make a new team, you already start getting hyped about what will you do and everything. So I think it's silly to marry yourself to your current team. Just play, have fun. If it dies, it dies. Make a new one. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I think that's all very good advice. Chabsu would like to know why you are such a lucky coach.
I think I think Naffle favors the bold.
I think that's good too.
Yeah, I
That
think
goes back
that's it. I
to
mean,
Ornan.
when you don't care about players, he'll give you good players.
Mm-hmm.
If you pixel hug, he won't give you much good stuff, I think.
Good stuff. Karma's Echo would like to know, what are the 5 things that you advise for new players coming into the Rebel main league from the rookie league, and what other any tips that you could think of basically for new coaches to the main league?
Um, okay, so new coaches come into. I have a question for you first. And new coaches come to a letter division, or new coaches that come to?
It depends. If they want to start fresh, if they want to have a fresh team, then yes, they could go with a letter division and play in the greenhorn, or even skip the greenhorn. Or if they want to keep their team from the rookie league, they can do that, but then they're at the mercy of wherever Metal wants to place them.
Right. I think if you land in a letter division, my advice would be not to think about it as a development season this season, because if you do that, you won't have as much fun. At first, I started with that mentality. I won't lie to you. That's what happened. I said, well, this is Nurgle. They suck at first season, so screw this. I'll just develop my players, and if I end last, it doesn't matter. But the whole the whole infrastructure of Rebel, with recappers and news and everything, just forces you to care. I don't know if you understand what I mean.
Oh, I do.
Like you don't want to disappoint. You don't want to be that guy that everybody beats. So even if I came with the mentality of screw this, I'll just develop my team. I ended up looking at leaderboard. I really try to win every game. Sometimes I'll put my valuable pieces in just to try to get to the stupid playoffs to get beaten anyway. But it made it very, very fun. And the recappers every week, analyzing what you did or what you didn't do. So I've seen players that keep that development mentality, having less fun than players that go for the win. So that's my advice. Go and play it all. Try to win. This, I think it's a good parenthesis, where there's a good chance we have a champion that came from a lesser division this season. So you can do it.
Yeah, absolutely. And any team can win, too. I mean, it's one of the best things about Blood Bowl is that anyone can beat anyone at any time. You could queue up against Ornan, and he could have a team that's higher TV than you, and it doesn't matter. If you get the dice at the right time, you're going to win anyway, and you might as well play for the win because it's, like you said, more fun. Additionally, I'll give you an answer as well, Karma's Echo, is one of the things I advise for new players coming up to the main league or just new people in the main league, whether you've played a lot of Blood Bowl or not, is to not get overwhelmed so much with the Discord, but be a part of the Discord. You don't have to read every single line of chat every day. It's a lot, even for me. And it's kind of one of my jobs to do that. But for newer players that are joining the league, it's still good to get to know the people and to see what's happening and see what the storylines of the day are and watch match reports. Everybody's really friendly and open to answering questions. So, yeah, I would just say to stay involved as best you can and try and keep up. And if you do feel overwhelmed, maybe just focus on a couple channels like the REL channel. Once we get into the regular season, this is a pretty good spot to hang out if you're in the REL or whatever your division channel or your regional channel is, G-Man or Big O. So Chaos Abulu would like to know, what process do you use to select the play of the week?
Well, it's not a formal process, but I can tell you a few things I look for. First, I look for success. I mean, it's always more fun to see a successful play than seeing a play that almost worked but finally didn't. One play that comes to mind is in the playoffs, there was an elf-off between Andy Davo versus, who was the high elf coach? I can't remember. Archexcel, I think. Yeah. So Archexcel and Andy Davo both tried to make a one-turner. I believe Archexcel's one-turner was a lot harder because Andy Davo had sidesteppers, and it was a lot more interesting. But his one-turner didn't work. So in the end, I chose Andy Davo's because, well, it's more fun to see it working in the end, That's one thing I look for. Another thing is that hopefully it's not just dice chucking, but sometimes it will. As other times, I like to a little bit role play, like if I really was a news reporter in the Blood World universe, how would it feel to see something like that in the stadium, Sometimes a play can be really, really difficult, but it's not very shiny, it doesn't look very interesting. Other times a play can be a little bit easier, but it's awesome. Like there was a Skaven score that went literally from one end zone to the other. It wasn't very hard. It was like a handoff and a pass between gutter runners, and you do it, But it was awesome, like watching the ball going all the way in just one turn. And finally, I also look for unconventional plays. I remember my first play of the week was very interesting because it was a cage dive with Wizard but the guy who cage dived decided to bolt one of the corners instead of bolting the bolt carrier, because the corner was a little bit harder to get rid of, and that way he could go into the cage, and the ball would have less tackle zones around it.
Mm-hmm.
In the end, I'm not sure if it was the best play, but at least it had a different angle, so we could all discuss it. It wasn't an obvious play, and it worked in the end. So that's kind of the things I look for.
Nice, I like it. Let's see. Next Spread would like to know, who is your favorite opponent and why is it Steak Mittens? I assume that's Steak Mittens.
Yeah, we have a small little rivalry maybe. I beat him in clan, and now in the open invitational he just crushed my team. I had to even use the emergency apple.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, but honestly, yeah, I can see myself having having him as of one of my favorite opponents. I certainly want to have my go at his team again. Maybe this time I'll elf nurgle him, but who knows?
Very good. It's good to have rivalries too. With my orcs when they were coming up, I had several rivals. I think Iron Master thought he was my rival, but he never won. It was his crazy chaos. But Owned, who is a dwarf coach, who's not actually playing in the league anymore, him and I played just repeatedly every single season we came up together. Stouticus, he was playing Wood Elves at the time, and he came up with us as well. And then once we got to the higher divs, Arch XL was definitely somebody that I considered my biggest rival, because he was always in the playoff hunt, always 1 or 2 points right next to me. So it was always fun having that rivalry as seasons go on.
It's very, very fun. Yes.
Let's see. So it's ZHT Wu. I think it's just Wu in the game, but the coach of Sedai Sinlin would like to know, now that you've pleased hundreds of coaches with your play of the week, can we expect to have more Troukk action in the news for season 10? Do you have any new projects coming up?
Maybe. I mean, there's one thing that is tickling in the back of my head, and I've been avoiding it, but I think I'll end up doing it. I want to play around with the bounty board.
Okay.
I'd like to make like use wanted, wanted, like in the Far West,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe with some imagery, maybe interview the coach that plays the bounty, and interview the coach of the player that is bountied. That sort of thing. That can be fun. It's also small, easy to make. I think that's what I'll end up doing. I've been trying not to talk about it because I don't want to talk about something I won't do, but now it's cool that I already talked about it.
Yeah, don't worry. No matter how much you promise something and are not able to deliver on it, I've probably promised more and delivered less. Because that's kind of my thing around here is, yeah, that sounds great. I'll do that. And I'll do an ad every week, and then I'll do more recaps, and I'll fill in for divisions that aren't done, and next thing I know, the week's over and I haven't done anything, and then Metal's just direct messaging me asking me for a new weekly ad and things like that. So yeah, feel free to promise a lot of things and not deliver any of them. Foul language being one of those. It's been a while since we did our last one. But I'm glad we're catching up. So Lideus would like to know, who's been doing similar interviews on the Rebel news site. Do you have any team that you love out of the box, or one that you hate, or a team that's better with development that you really enjoy?
Well, out of the box, I like Undead,
Yeah.
and it's so easy to play them, and you can do bullshit from day one. I like them. With development, my favorite team by far is, aside from Mirrorworld, is Underworld. I love Underworld. If I ever reroll and something fun hasn't come out, like, I don't know, Slaanesh, I'll go Underworld. I love them. So much fun.
I
But you
believe
need development.
I saw something silly on your RebelNet sheet. A chaos team that says followers or worshippers of corn and only friends
Yeah,
with
that's a
walks.
1 minute team.
Oh, that's your 1 minute team. Okay. Nice.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
assume that you'll be interested in playing corn in the future?
Probably not. I think I'll be interested in playing Slaanesh if they come.
Oh, okay.
That
fits.
I'm very intrigued by the thought of mutations plus agility.
Yeah.
And right now I'm kind of faking it with my Nurgle, but it would be fun to play a team that is built around it.
Yeah, I agree. I think that fits your playstyle and your team quite well. I don't know. Have you seen any of the Slaanesh team rosters that are kind of floating around the internet?
Yeah, they are awful. Too powerful, completely unbalanced. I really hope Steinach doesn't use them.
There's some that are okay.
Come on.
I like the one that has the linemen are basically dark elves. Then there's the couple like Pestigore like agility players that have regen and are also AV7. And then they have 4 warriors that are AV8, but they don't have strength access. And they have
but lore wise, that's awful. I mean, you don't have demonettes. That's the whole point of Slaanesh, right?
I think those were the 4 ones with regen. I think.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
No. I'm almost sure that the team that has demonettes is completely awful. It has these demonettes have claw, have hypnogaze, and they don't have any traits, so it's terrible. But I'd like to see some sort of demonette in the game because lore-wise, that's what makes Slash fun.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I don't know if from I like Games Workshop lore. I think it's interesting. So when the teams play out the lore is I don't I know it's not important for the mechanics of the game, but the visuals and the style also matters.
Mm-hmm. Herringzord would like to know if you have any favorite Rebel side leagues.
Clan, absolutely.
Yeah.
Clan. No doubts about it. So much fun. I actually entered Rebel through Clan League. That's where I knew and saw all the people here. They were so friendly. I want to give a shout out to Metal because sometimes in these private game things, the Supreme Overlord is this stuck-up guy that won't talk to anybody. When I approached him to thinking about joining the main league, he was very friendly. He gave me advice. In that way, he did inspire me to play Nurgle because he showed me his team. I found it awesome. I want something like that. So, and I think this also ties into the advice you gave that because if you're involved in the Discord, you see how friendly everyone is, and that makes you want to be a part of it. But what made me enter all this was the Clan League. And I think that will happen more and more. If you see the Division 4 of Clan League, there's a lot of coaches that don't play in the main league. And once they get to know us, I think they will end up making their own Real, G-Man, and Big O teams.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
I think that the clan has brought us in some really good people. I hesitate to say lead in with really good people and then say someone like Larkstar, but but it's true though that the Clan League definitely has been like a gateway drug for the Rebel, if you will. That a lot of coaches might find for whatever reason the Rebel format intimidating or just too many coaches or they don't want to get lost, and then they come in for the Clan League to play with their friends and end up really just getting sucked in. So I agree. I think the Clan League is a huge part of the Rebel and an awesome side league. Even though, it has been my favorite, I got sucked in again this season. So now I'm on Team Metal and playing.
Yeah, sadly you got sucked in. My players are still recovering.
I thought about playing our match as the background for this interview, but it was a little one-sided. It didn't feel right. But you got bust appropriately, and it worked out. Your clan noob definitely won quite handily. So
Yeah, and here I will be I will congratulate myself maybe because if you check my Rebel News article, I nailed it, like really nailed it. If you read it, everything happened exactly as I said it.
yeah,
You were going to kick my ass, then Tab was going to kick Metal's ass, then Thessa was going to beat Bleeding Hitty because his team was more developed.
mm-hmm.
Then the other two were too close to call, but the Nurgle Torf game was going to be determined by casualties, and so it was. So maybe I've learned a thing or two.
Predictions are always hard in the Rebel because anything can happen. But yeah, I think you nailed that one for sure. So we have one final question to close this out. It is from our last interviewee. Hindus would like to know, if you had to choose a bird, what bird would it be and why? For the bird wars.
That's a silly question. Birds are so stupid. But I guess if I had to choose one, I'd choose the condor, maybe.
The condor. I don't
yeah.
think I've seen anyone claim the condor in the bird wars. There you go. That's nice.
It's a think about it. It's a huge bird, like the size of a human. It flies up in the mountains where nobody can mess with him, and he's too lazy to hunt himself. He's how do you call it? A bird of prey?
A scavenger.
A scavenger. Yeah, that's it. So I like his style.
There you go. There you go. I love it. Well, anything else you'd like to say before I let you go?
No, that's it. It was very fun. Thank you.
Perfect. Well,
for having me.
Thank you for joining me. Everybody, look forward to seeing Troukk next season. I'm gonna say that his Nurgle will be in the, we'll say, mid 6 to 8 range of REL. I would anticipate. Who knows? I might end up playing you with my Nurgle. Or with my Kislev. Yeah, my Kislev. We'll see.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
I'd have my revenge.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't want that actually. But anyway, thank you again, everybody out there. Thanks for submitting your questions. If I didn't get your question in there, feel free to throw it up, and Troukk will maybe go into the Reddit thread and answer those for you. But I think I got everybody. And yeah, that'll do it. We'll try and have another episode early on in the next season. Maybe if I'm lucky, I'll go ahead and get the Superb Owl winner for an interview after that is decided later the coming week. Only 1 week of off season left. I'm very excited. But that'll do it. Thank you, everybody. Let's have a good night.